This is the Jim Liebo Show, where we're diving into the truth about CBD oil, its many uses, benefits, and life-changing capabilities. Here's your host, Jim Liebo.
Well, welcome back, everybody. It's a beautiful day. And I'll tell you something, I'm going to have Ryan back on here in just a minute again, but I wanted to talk a little bit about, Clean Leaf Pharmaceutical and MedicineMan.global, okay, are the companies that we have. And I'll tell you something, when I took a look at putting the company together and the visions and the ideas of what I had as far as really taking care of the consumer from every possible angle and everywhere else, when I met Ryan, I knew that day that I had found the perfect person. Not only is he 100 times smarter than me, but I couldn't ask for a better person to be a partner with. And if I'm not mistaken, Ryan, you're on the line with me now, aren't you?
Yes, I am, Jim. Thank you for that awesome intro.
Well, I can only speak so highly of you because you really deserve it. But so let's talk a little bit about what we're looking for, as a company, what we're going to do for people out there. I know you have a few things that you want to talk about as well, and let's go ahead and talk a little bit about some of the things that we were just talking about when we were in between on commercial break.
So, as a company as a whole, you and I really want to educate people on how to heal the human body. Everybody should be experiencing optimum health. Whenever there's an issue in the human body, unless if it's an accident related, like a broken back or a neck or something along those lines, it's always related to a lack of mineral and nutrient. Because if it's not in the food, if it's not in the soil, it's not in the food, and if it's not in the food, it's not in your body. And your body needs certain materials to do all the things that it does. So if it's missing anything, it doesn't function correctly, and that's what you would call pain or not producing a chemical that the body needs because it's lacking something. If the farmer only puts back 10 things into the soil through fertilizers, then that means the plant doesn't have the 90 minerals and nutrients that your body needs, no matter what, because it's only getting it from the soil, And that's the challenge with the human body. If you look at the world today, cancer right now is a $107 billion industry since 2015, and it's projected to be over $150 billion by 2018. Obviously, there's something wrong if the world's population is increasing that much with cancer.
Exactly. And that's why they're spending that.
So,
yeah, because it's all government. And until we can get that change from the government about how they view everything, we're going to be the ones that are going to change the way the world's going to understand what's going to happen.
Well, it starts with education. Cannabis oil cures cancer because there's a synergistic partnership between the immune system and the endocannabinoid system, which they never talk about. A function of the immune system is to get rid of dead or dying cells, and it is only partly effective on cancer because cancer actually hides from the immune system by removing the surface chemical ID, which tells the immune system there's something wrong. Some of the chemicals in cannabis actually circumvent this disguise, and one of those chemicals is THC. When THC meets the endocannabinoid receptor of the cancer cell, it actually causes it to produce ceramide, which then kills the mitochondria in the cell, which then kills the cell. So, that's huge. One of the immune system recognizes the DNA of the cancer cell is abnormal. It then sends more ceramide into killing more mitochondria. The cell cannot live without its mitochondria, so then it dies because it doesn't have any energy. And the normal cells are not affected. CBD is another effective cannabinoid because it shuts down the L1 gene. This gene allows cancer to metastasize and divide. So the combination between THC and CBD actually kills cancer. And how come none of this is discussed? It's such an effective treatment for cancer.
Yeah, well, we know why it's not discussed, because of the pharmaceutical industry.
well, we're not going to talk about any of that. And the other thing is the power of the mind, Jim. By sports, how powerful is the mind? An athlete says that they visualize something first before they achieve it. All great athletes use the power of the mind, and they don't ever talk about this in medicine. And the mind is the most powerful part of the equation. Without the patient knowing how powerful the mind is, how could they heal their body?
Right. And that's 100% true. I mean, if you believe in it, you can make it happen.
And that's the other part with doctors, or, you go to a doctor and they label you with what they think you have, even though they have no understanding of the body. And they say, you have this. And then they say, well, the average life expectancy of stage 4 cancer in this is 3 months to live. From that point in time, that person is only thinking about, crap, I only have 3 months to live. They're not thinking about, oh, how am I going to heal my body? Or my body is healing because I'm assimilating with nutrients. So our compassion is to really educate all the people we can on the planet. And that's what we're looking to do as a company on a whole. Because if everybody has an understanding or a foundation of understanding of how their body actually works and how they can heal themselves, I really believe that nobody would ever go to a doctor again, unless if it was in an emergency situation.
Correct. Yep. Yeah. So now with the cancer facility that's going to be opening down in Costa Rica, what do you how do you envision that to look, to work through its process? How do you see it fitting together and coming together in your vision with your eyes?
Well, the one challenge is everybody's on a different level of understanding. We all come from different backgrounds and different experiences. So there's going to be all different types of education. Maybe somebody's interested in philosophy a little bit, and we can convey how powerful they are as a being through philosophy, through religion, through even scientific research. Education again. 2 is put them in an environment that is conducive to healing. There's going to be no Wi-Fi. There's going to be no outside noise. It's going to be completely shut off from the rest of the world, so they can actually hear quietness. They can actually start developing that relationship again with that intuition, with that inner knowing. So my vision, or what we're doing over here in Costa Rica, is we found a really large piece of property. It's close to 1,000 acres. It's all surrounded by rainforest, so there's oxygen, fresh air everywhere. The food that we're growing is grown in a certain way where it has all the full minerals and nutrients that it's meant to have. So when it's consumed by the body receives the minerals and nutrients that it needs to operate correctly. So it's, 1, we're going to show them how we grow food properly. 2, we're going to show them how their body operates properly, how they can regrow their body in under a year. Your body, you have a brand new skeletal system every 6 months. You have new eyeballs every 3 days, new organs every 3 months. Your body completely regenerates itself, but it needs the foundation. It needs the raw materials. So it's really about educating the people and really showing them how to heal their body. With a one-on-one, there's going to be people there who have gone through everything they've gone through. There's going to be all sorts of different practices, Eastern practices, homeopathy. There's going to be classes on how to work with the life force energy that the Chinese call qi or the Indians call prana, because that's another important factor in healing. When one learns how to quiet the mind and actually breathe correctly from the belly and be focused on just receiving energy from the universe, all of a sudden this energy helps in the healing process as well, especially issues with bones. I've seen broken bones, Jim, be healed from 20 to 30 minutes of running energy on people. I actually, my 3-year-old daughter was stung by a stingray recently on the beach, and I ran this energy in her, and when I was putting the energy in her, she wasn't in pain. The moment I stopped, she was crying. So, it's really giving people a full understanding of how to heal themselves.
Right. Well, we're starting to get down to about a minute left into the show. One of the things, again, I want to thank you, obviously, for coming on to the show. And, we have a tremendous amount. I'm going to have you on for a much longer segment because we have so much stuff to go over and, and to let, the world know out there, what we're trying to look at as a company versus how the other companies out there. And I think people will find that we are the strongest and the baddest company that is there. So, So once again, I want to thank you, and like I said, I will get you back on the show here again so we can talk a little bit more in detail.
The Jim Liebo Show
Have a
will
great
be
day,
right
man.
back. And we're back. Here's your host, Jim Liebo.
Well, we are back, and luckily I got Ryan to stay on for a couple more segments with us so that we didn't have to run him off too quick because he's way too important as far as the information that he has. I've never met anybody that I've talked to that I couldn't be more excited every time I talk to him because I learn so much about it, and it's great to learn something every single day. So, Ryan, I'm glad to have you back. And let's talk, a little bit now. Let's talk about the CBD side. Let's talk about what CBD can do for the cancer side for the patients out there.
Well, we touched on it a little bit in the segment before, but CBD is another effective cannabinoid because it shuts down the L1 gene. This gene allows cancer to metastasize and divide. So if it can't do either of those, it's not an issue in the body anymore. The combination between the THC and the CBD actually kills cancer. Just the fact that CBD calms the patient is a huge benefit because we all know how powerful the mind is. So just imagine if somebody is really anxious and worried and they could take something that would just really calm them down. I mean, really, when the brain releases alkaline chemicals when it's happy or calm or grateful, and the brain releases acidic chemicals when it's worried. So we know that cancer is kind of like a fungus that can only grow in a body that is acidic. So if somebody's always worried and anxious, their body chemistry is conducive for cancer to thrive. But as soon as you calm down, the brain releases acidic chemicals and causes the body to be more alkaline, which the cancer can't grow in if the body is alkaline. Same as like a swimming pool. Everybody who knows a swimming pool that has algae, if they raise the pH level of the water, the algae goes away. And it's very similar with cancer.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so on the CBD side, with the different products, if you're talking to a patient out there, what's your first step that you're gonna say to somebody that's got an issue out there, from the CBD side? How would you walk that person down into a program to get them started to really, from the basics, because there's so much that we can offer to them. How would you suggest that we start at the basic level for them to get them started on what they need to know?
Well, I would start by just educating them that back in 2003, our government actually patented medical marijuana. And within this patent, it actually talks about the benefits of the CBDs as antioxidant properties, especially when they're going through chemo or radiation. If the government patented it, all the way back then, why aren't they talking about it now? I would also educate them on the other aspects of cancer as well, around the endocannabinoid system and how the CBDs are beneficial for their body. And most people aren't even educated on the endocannabinoid system or how it even functions. So, it would really be just starting from the foundation. I would go on.
Yeah, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but that's really where I think the difference in the long-term aspect of where our company is at is having the 85 different cannabinoids that are involved within there and getting a true understanding with the body and the issues of what we can do for them out there. We're not just a place where you just buy a bottle and that's it and we leave you alone. We're a company that really wants to make a difference in how that person feels. So we're going to walk them through every single aspect that we can from the educational side so that they'll have the strength to be able to pull themselves through what they're going through because, again, it goes back, to the mind. I mean, with my injuries and the things that happened to me, if you don't have that positive mind, you're never going to be able to get to the spot to where you want to get to. You have to be positive every day about that. It's going to work.
Well, that's the programming that we have to program our patients with. Instead of programming them to be scared, we show them all the different research that is available to show them that cannabis really does work or CBDs really do work. And when they really believe something, then they're able to let go of that being scared because they say, well, if I take this guy's products, I'm going to feel better. And then guess what? They take your products, Jim, and they do feel better. And then it's really easy to heal because once you start seeing progress, it's really easy to see more progress.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we do kind of live in that instant gratification world today. And you're 100% right. If they can see and feel and get that difference off of the first get, then we've got them. Then we've got them to move along through the process of what we want. If they don't, then they're not going to be. And we know that they feel it instantly, with our product. And that's a great position for us to be in, because we don't need to worry about fighting the issue. We know that it's going to work for them.
100%.
And
so it's
Go
just
ahead.
really getting them comfortable with our product, why our product is awesome, and then educating them on how it's going to help their body, getting them to take it, and then when they do receive that medicine, they're going to feel better, and it's easy from that point, because then they're going to ask us, hey, what's the next step? And they can say, well, you can incorporate these other plant medicines into your diet, and you're going to feel even better. Or some of the other things that we were talking about how to bring the mind into healing, or maybe the 90 minerals and nutrients outside of the cannabis, because that's important as well.
Yeah. And that's where, a lot of the educational side is, like we said, is going to be very important, because, right now we're at the reactive stage where people have an issue or some type of ailment that we have to fix with them. But we want to get to the point where people understand that the CBD is a supplement that they need to add into their daily life to be able to keep themselves healthy or keep them from getting cancer, whatever it might be. And that's part of that education out there that we're going to be, making sure that, we get enough of that out there, because there really isn't a lot of people educating the people on what these products can really do for them.
Not at all. And then another point, you were just talking about instant gratification. We have some devices out here in Costa Rica that actually immediately heal cancer or heal it over a few days. So if we're able to take somebody who's in severe pain, give them a temporary healing, because if somebody doesn't change their mindset and their habitual daily food intake, the cancer can come back. But if you reprogram them in a way where they're able to create good habits in their life, and that's with taking these CBD oils daily and maybe some other plant medicines, the cancer cannot come back. But in the meantime, we can give them where they're more comfortable and they can actually see immediate gratification. We have one device out here, Jim. It's called a healing box, and you sit inside this thing, and I'm telling you, it's euphoric. You can feel energy coming from all different directions. And if somebody who had cancer was to sit in this healing box we have, the cancer goes away automatically.
I know, and I can't wait to get down there and give it a try as well. And that really is something special that the listening guests that are out there really need to understand is the strength of all the different aspects within this company that isn't out there by any other company that is out there. There's companies that fit every aspect that's out there, but they only do a single little spot, where we're really that one-stop shop. When you come to us, we've got the ability to take you from the supplement level all the way to the cancer level. And that's a wonderful, wonderful place to be in that we're in.
And we're looking, Jim, as a company as well, to heal every illness, not just cancer. I mean, cancer is an easy one, but, all these things they label fibromyalgia or multiple sclerosis or diabetes or Parkinson's or any of these ailments that people are suffering from is easily curable. And it really boils down to, one, education, how to use your mind correctly throughout your day so your internal body chemistry can be conducive for healing. And then it's also the other component, the nutritional component,
Yeah, and it really is. I mean, it makes a big difference. We're coming up to about a minute, so we're going to go to break here in just in about 30 seconds, and I want to come back to you, and we'll go over a couple other things as well, as far as what we can do for our patients that are out there, and some of the new things that we're going to be adding in to our product line as well. So why don't you hold on for a second? We're going to go to a break for a minute, and then we'll be right back with you, Ryan.
The Jim Liebo Show will return shortly. And we're back. Here's your host, Jim Liebo.
We are back. in wonderful Texas. And we have Ryan on again. Ryan's in Costa Rica, and Ryan is the CEO. He's my partner in the company. And we've been talking a lot about a lot of different things, from CBD to cancer to all different aspects of the machines that we have down there to be able to read with the body what's happening with it, what it needs to be from the psychological side of the mind, and the component and the products that we've made, from the industry out there. The nice thing that we had, about our product is at the last show that we were at, they actually did like tests on different people's products and everything, and we actually won best product at that show there. And it was very exciting to have that and to know that, the CBD products that we produce, work extremely well. And it's funny out there because people don't really think about it. Like, even with our lotion, Ryan, we took our lotion to a nursing home. And they have a lot of issues within the nursing home where people's skin get real fragile as they get old. And we took the CBD lotion into there, and we let them try it with the patients. And where they were having cracking and bleeding and everything, it stopped their bleeding, and it actually increased the strength of the skin. And really changed a lot of these people that are in their elder years, what this product can do. So it's absolutely amazing the different areas that our products work for, and that people don't even think about it. And from that side of it, what other aspects have you seen from the CBD side when you're talking about fibromyalgia or MS? What do you think is the component parts that drive the difference between some of those, between fibromyalgia or MS or epilepsy or any of it?
Well, the endocannabinoid system and the immune system really go hand in hand, and science really hasn't gone down that road too much yet. There's only a few studies that show how important one is to the other. So if you're having a deficiency in your endocannabinoid system, if that's a crucial part of the immune system, the immune system isn't running at its optimal potential, and that's why the body's getting sick. So really, the supplements that we have fill that deficiency, so the body starts working better. And immediately, if anybody takes any of our medicine, they're going to feel better for that reason. They're not getting any cannabinoids in the food that they're eating, that's for sure. And you're not getting it from breathing the air, so how are you going to get it? The only way to get it is through some type of supplement.
Exactly. And, and that's one of the aspects that we're looking at it, because it doesn't matter if you're on the sports side, if you're just an everyday person that gets up and goes to work, if you have an issue that you're dealing with. I know that, we've even taken, the CBD products, and we've used it alongside people that are going through chemotherapy, because it helps them sustain a little bit better when they're going through the chemotherapy and the radiation. It stabilizes the body a little bit better, helps them to be able to eat a little bit better. And we've done very well on that side of it as well. So it really is amazing how well the CBD product or the hemp product does, for the everyday body that's out there and what they're really missing. I mean, we're going to get ready to launch, the sports side of it for a nighttime recovery, product as well. From the athletic side, we're getting ready to go into, the professional, sports side of it, to start working with athletes, because we know that, it's an anti-inflammatory. So anytime there's an injury or whatever it might be, this is where that comes in, and it heals it faster. When my wife went through hip and knee replacement surgery, it healed her faster taking the CBD pills than she would have if she hadn't taken it, her doctor said.
Do you know that CBD pills actually stop the blood to go to tumors? It actually cuts off blood to the tumors, so the tumors die. That's another benefit of the CBD. And another funny thing is, a cannabis user is 45% less likely to have colon cancer. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, and they're missing out so much on it, and that's the reason why, we're going hard and heavy after the doctors so that we can educate them so that they can start referring the patients, that we need, and then we'll start driving the patients down, whichever path that we feel that, that we need. I think, by far, when they see what this company is able to do, we're going to make a tremendous difference in people's lives. And we're hearing it from patients, already that have come on, that have given their testimonies of how well it works. And there is a big difference in products that are out there that people are making. They just don't use as good a product. And that's the one thing, with us, is quality is everything. And yeah, go ahead.
Well, food is medicine. And if you look at the different qualities in food, you can get food that's bombarded with pesticides and chemicals and waxes and eat that and see what it does for your body. Or you can go get a wholesome, something grown organically in good soil. And one has a healing quality and one has an illness quality to it, and it's the same thing with medicine. Clean Leaf Products is all organic. Everything is at the highest quality, and patients see immediate benefit when they take our medicine. And that's why it feels so good to be a part of this company, is because we really are helping people. It's not about the dollar. It's really about the patient.
Yep, you're 100% right. And that's the one thing that, we looked at, when we put all of this together, and your vision when we met was the same vision that I had, that you're right. It isn't, the money is always going to be there. You're always going to make money. But the point is that you have to have, it's got to come from the heart, with, the breaking of all the necks that I had, my son who had, an epileptic seizure attack would turn into a stroke, to my wife almost being killed, by, a flatbed truck, so with all the things that have happened in our life and the way the product has worked for our family is absolutely, it's unspeakable even to even be able to tell to somebody what we really have to offer to the person that's out there.
And back to one of your questions earlier, as a company, one of the things we're looking to do as a company is really invest in the research around cannabis and the other properties that it has that hasn't even been thought about. I mean, they only have 85 different cannabinoids. There's probably another 100 or so that haven't even been discovered yet. And then what are the benefits of each one of those? So if somebody has seizures, which component do they need most from the plant, if not all of them? And if we can isolate each component down to the benefits of the human body, it's only going to be easier for a patient to dose correctly and to recover much faster.
Exactly. And the nice thing about it is, and we are getting that deep as a company where we're going to be, but the nice thing about it is we don't have to have that issue with the products that we sell of somebody taking too many pills because they need to take it. The product works. It makes them feel better. They don't need to take extra pills like they do with pharmaceutical drugs and everything else because the product works.
That's it.
So when will we start down in Costa Rica? When will you start growing, some of the new, vegetables and different things, from the nutrient side that we're going to introduce to the market? What time frame are we looking at?
We're already doing that. We actually have one farm we're working on currently right now. I've been looking at some real estate in the area that is actually 3 mountaintops, and it's perfect for what we're going to do. So we're actually working out a deal with the owners of that mountaintop right now. It's almost 2,000 acres in its entirety, and we're going to start setting up on that immediately. Beautiful.
Well, we're just getting down to the end of the show here, and once again, I want to thank you, for coming on. Your wisdom and your knowledge is it's just far ahead of anybody else. So, but I want you to have a great day, Ryan. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your information, and I know our guests loved it. And we will be speaking to each other soon.
Thanks again, Jim. Have a blessed day, brother.
Yes, yeah. You have a great day too.
Talk to you soon.
All right, take care, Ryan.
Join us next time for another episode of The Jim Liebo Show. Jim Liebo is the president of Clean Leaf Pharmaceuticals. Shop the online store for CBD capsules, e-juice, lotion, and more at cleanleafpharma.com. cleanleafpharma.com.